very serious development has just taken place in the last few minutes in the Middle East. A Navy battle group is now on a mission to stop ships from Iran before they can deliver weapons to rebel fighters. Make no mistake, this is a major escalation in the fighting in Yemen and the proxy war that we're in right now between Iran and the United States. The Pentagon just announced minutes ago that it sent an aircraft carrier loaded with jets along with a Navy cruiser to the waters off Yemen. That's where the Houthi rebels you've heard so much about have the nation's pro-American government on the run. The fighting's been playing out for weeks there. Iran backs these rebels who took over Yemen's capital, forced the president of the country to escape, and the militants are still on the move. The thinking is Iran is trying to get weapons and supplies to those Houthi rebels, and the United States is there to stop it. Saudi Arabia and several allies have tried to beat back the rebels with airstrikes. The Saudis' big concern is a serious one, that its arch enemy, Iran, could take control of Yemen, which shares a long border with Saudi Arabia. But there's much more at play here. Iran made no secret about sending those weapons to the rebels. The government announced it was sending as many as 9 ships of supplies to Yemen, and Iran didn't try to hide it at all. Pentagon officials say it's as if Iran is trying to tell the United States what it's doing. Saudi Arabia and Egypt, on the other hand, already have ships trying to block Yemen's waters. Now the United States joins what could turn into a major face-off between Iran and the United States and the West. Let's get the very latest breaking details from the Pentagon and our correspondent Jennifer Griffin. What can you tell us about this breaking news out of the Arabian Sea, Jen?
Well, Shep, we are just learning, as you just reported, that the U.S. Navy has repositioned the USS Theodore Roosevelt, an aircraft carrier escorted by the USS Normandy, a guided missile cruiser, from the Gulf into the Arabian Sea with the purpose of potentially intercepting suspected Iranian weapons shipments to the Houthis in Yemen, enforcing the blockade against supplying militants in Yemen, Shep.
Hey, why is this significant in terms of timing?
Well, it's significant, Shep, because the USS Roosevelt just arrived in the Persian Gulf to replace the USS Carl Vinson, which had been supporting air operations over Iraq. We're told the Roosevelt, which had just arrived on station in recent days, has now retransited the Strait of Hormuz, reversing course. It has now taken station in the Arabian Sea to help enforce this blockade of Yemen and to keep shipping lanes open. Clearly, they are concerned about Iranian resupply of the Houthis. We heard a very defensive State Department spokesman, Marie Harf, say as much today at the State Department briefing.
There is a well-documented history of support for the Houthi, including in various State Department reports, money, weapons, support for a very long time, Saeed.
I know there are statements in support of
there's a lot of evidence. Do you doubt this evidence, Saeed?
Right now, the USS Roosevelt will join about 9 U.S. Navy ships in the waters off Yemen amid reports that a convoy of Iranian ships are headed to Yemen to arm the Houthis. Saudi Arabia, of course, has been carrying out airstrikes, as you mentioned, against the Iranian-backed Houthis for more than 2 weeks. The U.S. is, of course, helping the Saudis now. Shep.
All right, Jennifer, thanks. So